Is the Kirk family considering any kind of legal action against people who are defaming Charlie Kirk, the organization?
It's so ridiculous. And absolutely. I mean, we have all of our friends out there on social media. They're sending us all this stuff. So just trust me, we are seeing it all. We are logging it all. And I'm not prepared to get ahead of ourselves or Erica or the organization. But I will say that we have really good lawyers. And, I completely agree with your sentiment that bad people intentionally lying and maligning the legacy of Charlie Kirk, who, by the way, Scott, was the most decent man I have ever worked with, the most truly good and generous and loyal and full of integrity man that I have ever worked with. Well, I mean, ask yourself, Scott, what are they insinuating? Are they insinuating that Charlie deserved to be assassinated? Like, what actually are they driving at? Because
Let's get at it. Let's get active. You saw the thumbnail. You saw the title. So you know what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be listening to Adam speak with Scott about the question a lot of people have been wondering. Is TPUSA going to respond, and are they going to respond legally? Let's go ahead and bring it in. Let's go.
And I have to tell you, Andrew, one of the things in the aftermath of this that has me, frankly, the angriest, and we just discussed it in the last segment, is the effort that is being made on the left to either misquote Charlie Kirk, to make up quotes that supposedly came from Charlie Kirk that did not, to pull things out of context. In other words, all of this effort is being made to distort or to create a narrative that just simply isn't true. And it may be too early yet for you to say, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Is Turning Point, is the Kirk family considering any kind of legal action against people who are defaming Charlie Kirk, the organization? I mean, it makes my blood boil, just to be honest with you. Charlie Kirk was not hard to find. There's a lot of hours of video of him, a lot of hours of radio of him. He said a lot of things that he said most often on the record. And yet all this nonsense is being put out. What are your options when it comes to dealing with this?
Yeah, no, actually, Scott, I'm really glad you brought this up. I mean, just candidly, and I appreciate it. I've done a number of interviews in the last couple of days, and nobody has asked me about this stuff, I think, out of respect. I'm glad they didn't. I wasn't ready to talk about it. But, of course, I've seen some of the distortions, the outright lies, the slander against Charlie and what he said. And they even will cherry pick clips of his that I was there when they were recorded. And we used to laugh when Media Matters would take something he said out of context or frame it a certain way. And we would laugh that, Media Matters is doing our PR for us. And it was, I had tried for years to kind of argue with Media Matters, and it never went anywhere because it's not a journalistic entity. It is a propaganda entity. And so we just kind of took it in stride. And, now what they're doing, though, is they're looking back at like the way Media Matters would frame it. And they're trying to, act like that's what Charlie actually said. And so they'll take like a 5 or 10 words strung together and act like this was some big position of Charlie Kirk's. And it's so ridiculous. And absolutely. I mean, we have all of our friends out there on social media. They're sending us all this stuff. So just trust me, we are seeing it all. We are logging it all. And I'm not prepared to get ahead of ourselves or Erica or the organization. But I will say that we have really good lawyers. And, I completely agree with your sentiment that bad people intentionally lying and maligning the legacy of Charlie Kirk, who, by the way, Scott, was the most decent man I have ever worked with, the most truly good and generous and loyal and full of integrity man that I have ever worked with. He was one of those rare types that the more time you spent with him, the more endeared and the more to him you were, the more that you just loved the way he did things, and really just loved the man. He was truly one of a kind, and he was truly good inside and out. And I would just say that these people that never knew him, and they want to take a man that spent literally years and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands of hours of footage, and they're going to try and parse one or two things he said and act like that was somehow the definition of a man, and not even give you the context, by the way. It's just so dishonest and so gross, because they will take 0.001% of anything he said and ignore intentionally the 99.999% of things that he did and said. And, I listen, I don't think anybody's buying it. I don't want to give them more time than they deserve. But yes, Scott, we have good lawyers.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that because, look, as someone who is in the debating space partially for a living myself, as you just pointed out, when you're out there in the public sphere debating and putting hours and hours and hours of things on the record, anybody can go in and clip 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds,
Correct.
And twist it into something. And they know what drives me crazy is that they know they're doing it. And
Right.
it's look, it's happening on the left.
Well, they're liars.
They're liars. And they do it to President Trump. They did it all during the campaign. I go back, the bloodbath thing that was completely, taken out of context. The dictator of for a day thing. They did it to him. Now they're doing it to Charlie. And look, Charlie's not here, to answer it individually. And so I think a lot of people out there are hoping that aggressive action is taken to push back on this. Now, the good news is there's so much stuff out there. And you can get it if you want it. And I think millions of people are getting it. And that's really where I want to go next with the conversation. I have heard you throw out some absolutely insane numbers that you all are getting at Turning Point USA. Thousands, tens of thousands of people asking to get involved, millions of new engagements on social media. What can you tell us about the explosive growth that's happening with Turning Point?
Yeah, and can I say one other thing about about these vile comments or these insinuations? Well, I mean, ask yourself, Scott, what are they insinuating? Are they insinuating that Charlie deserved to be assassinated? What actually are they driving at? Because he said things you didn't like because you disagreed with him. Charlie Kirk never called anybody to violence. He was an anti-revolutionary. He did not want blood in the streets. He wanted revival. He wanted Jesus Christ come to earth and fill people's hearts so that you could have thriving families and thriving children and a country that was dedicated to the founders' ideals. And so anyways, I just, that they have gotten enough time. And I do want to talk about how amazing the outpouring and the vigils and the tributes to Charlie have been all across the world. And to your point, we have 900 college chapters. We have 1,200 high school chapters and kind of a revolving presence on about 3,500 total, right? We have gotten 37,000 inquiries of students that want to start a chapter, a TPUSA chapter. 37,000. It's just, we were already the biggest by chapters, conservative youth organization, and it's truly, truly incredible. And by the way, that number is probably expired now. It's probably over 40,000. I have no idea, but it truly is a testament to the man of who Charlie Kirk was and what his legacy is, and how he has truly inspired a whole new generation to take up his mantle, be courageous, speak the truth in love, and shove out it doesn't matter what the haters are going to say. It doesn't matter what the culture is saying. They're going to do it because Charlie showed them the way.
Shout out to them for sure. And I think it's something we need to consider, that the message that Charlie preached, that he spoke about, that he debated on, lectured on, and so on and so forth, do we fully understand and know what he was about? Not just sound bites and snippets. A lot of you all have become Charlie Kirk short experts, but not really understanding what he talked about in long form. Maybe you should look into it. It might be beneficial for you. Now, you might still not land where you think Charlie was a great person, but maybe you would understand a little bit more. What was he actually teaching? What was he actually supporting? What was he actually promoting? Rather than just say, hey, I heard a little snippet. That's got to be enough of it. Because that's just crazy work. And I just don't think that's the best that we can do and the best that we can offer. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. I really appreciate you. I'll leave the link to this video down in the description as well for you to check out the full interview. And I'm looking forward to rock with y'all. So I'll see you down there in the comments. Grace and peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Jay Witt Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment, because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.